My name is Cassandra Laundry, and I lead our Dynamics customer engagement business here at Microsoft Canada. I'm super excited to have you here with us today to hear from our panel about how digital transformation, either they're observing it or maybe doing it themselves in the case of some of my panelists, really all within the manufacturing industry. Specifically, we're going to deep dive on mixed reality and how factories are boosting their productivity with these new technologies. But first, I'm going to go ahead and get started by introducing the gentlemen on my panel today. Each of them will just say a quick hello as I introduce them. So let's go ahead and start with Michael Gardner. He leads manufacturing for us here at Microsoft Canada.
Hi.
Gino Levesque, he's our Senior Vice President of Containerboard at Kruger.
Hi, pleasure to be with you.
And Marcel, who's the CEO and President of AGC.
Hi.
Thanks, guys, again, so much for joining me today. I'm really looking forward to the discussion. Michael, I'm going to go ahead and get started with you because you see this really from a left to right view. The Canadian manufacturing industry has no doubt experienced significant change when it comes to technology in the past year. How is technology really helping Canadian manufacturers from your view?
Thanks. That's a great question. Canadian manufacturers are really resilient and resourceful. And, after getting through implementing new safety processes and revising their factory setups, most have had to really focus on being much more agile, given how demand's been much more volatile and there's been disruptions in supply. So they're kind of looking at their customer service. They've been looking at their supply chains, their product mix, ability to change plans in real time, and really help their workforce adapt to a ton of changes. The manufacturers who are getting comfortable tapping into the power and flexibility that things like the cloud offers are really testing new business models that add resilience but also grow their top line. For instance, several manufacturers that I work with are looking at new ways to serve their customers better with these new constraints. And with the cloud, they can build and test a variety of new digital services quickly and sell and monetize those services globally with much lower risk or upfront investment. So in a way, all these changes are kind of creating a forcing function that's disrupted the status quo and catalyzed increased innovation. Our CEO, Satya Nadella, said 2 years of digital transformation occurred in 2 months during the pandemic. And I've seen several examples of that in Canada with really rapid adoption of new ways to work using digital technologies.
That's, I think Satya's point there is just COVID was actually an accelerator for so many organizations to figure out things that maybe we're keeping them up at night, and then we're really keeping them up at night once the pandemic hit us. And then zooming in a little bit, specifically on mixed reality, how are you seeing those solutions really show up in manufacturing?
Yeah, mixed reality is a really interesting topic. What we've really seen and what I've seen is certainly mixed reality is helping manufacturers get their best people from anywhere in the world in front of problems remotely, much quicker and much more effectively than they ever did before. So several manufacturers I work with are using Teams and Remote Assist to work around travel restrictions and provide that support anywhere there is some internet connectivity. Some are actually providing the HoloLens 2 headsets to customers to support them as if they were in person. Also seeing customers use mixed reality with suppliers. For example, they're auditing their processes remotely instead of in person, or performing remote machine acceptance for new capital equipment that they're acquiring. The other thing that mixed reality is being used to is to train and assist workers in a much more intuitive and immersive ways. So operators get guidance in the context of the job or the actual work site. That's really engaging the workforce. And most people just want to do their job better, and mixed reality is actually really helping them, show them how to do that. For other people, like the highly valuable experts who often have to travel a lot, mixed reality and remote visualizations helping them stay closer to their families, while at the same time solving more customer problems without incurring travel costs and the time overhead in between jobs. So although mixed reality seems really futuristic and it's pretty cool, we're seeing some very practical use cases that are making a big impact in operations, in supply chain management, and sales and service as well.
Yeah, you listed off a couple of different examples there, but we're lucky enough today to actually have Gino from Kruger to talk about his own experiences, that aren't so futuristic. In fact, they're doing them right now. So, Gino, I'd love to know what challenges or opportunities were you facing at Kruger that really led you down this path of mixed reality?
Thank you, Cassandra. It's, of course, an interesting question, and I was listening at Michael's comments. He covered a lot of interesting things in his comment. That's exactly what we went through. One of the main challenge we are facing as company today is people are leaving to the benefit of retirement. You know, a lot of people are going to take their retirement. Questions are, how can we capture their knowledge? How can we attract people in our organization? How can we improve training? And the mixed reality technology became an opportunity that fit well our culture of innovation within the company. And you know, for me, innovation is something simple: the development application of ideas that helps people or organization to do things in a better way. You know, what can we achieve differently in order to differentiate ourselves? And in Kruger, our constant focus on continuous improvement led us to look at mixed reality. Let me share that at Kruger, parts of our intelligent enterprise journey to use that type of technology. That journey started with first with real-time data that we were really focusing on, and then from there fostering and promoting Industry 4.0, from where we are trying to leverage mobile technology, artificial intelligence, in order to be more productive. And in that journey of digital transformation, a project that leads us to application like mixed reality became a kind of obvious solution for us. It has been perceived as a game changer in our industry to differentiate ourselves and fulfill the challenge that I just described earlier. I could add that mixed reality has been a way of keeping talent engaged. Michael mentioned that, but that's really the case. You know, people feel more engaged because they are part of something new, and they see the value of training, and by being better trained, they can execute their task more efficiently. And from that angle, they are more engaged in the overall experience of performing their task and learning their task also. To conclude on that point, I would say that I strongly believe, and it's something very key that I will share with you here, I strongly believe that HoloLens technology brings our organization, Kruger, closer to our vision of being at the forefront of the manufacturing sector transformation by adopting new digital technology and really making Kruger an employer of choice for new generation of workers.
I love how so much of what you shared is about people, right? Whether it's those leaving the organization, those coming in, how do you harvest the talent that everyone has today to really continue leading on the forefront of innovation? So I think you just rhymed off some great benefits there. You know, you guys are using the full stack, right? You mentioned the HoloLens too. You're also using Dynamics 365 from a remote assist and a guides perspective. What learnings do you have so far from having implemented the technology that you want to ensure our audience hears today?
That's interesting. You know, I will convey that from the angle of attracting people. You know, the new young talent that we are hiring in our organization has been trained, educated with new technology. They are used to computer, they are used to cell phone, tablet, all that kind of stuff. It's part of their life, and seeing us has kind of old manufacturing organization, kind of, you know, we are 100 years company. We did a lot of good things since more than a century, and seeing us using mobile technology, leveraging artificial intelligence, leveraging mixed reality, make them just excited for them. You know, it's kind of normal for them. And also what we discover is for our older employees, it brings them up to speed with the latest technology, make them proud to use technology that is really up to date. And because the user-friendly side of the technology, it make it easy for them to learn it, you know, and by capturing their knowledge also, it makes them proud about their contribution for the coming generation, you know, because it's not easy learning the technical aspect of paper making. And with that technology, it makes it easier to learn for the new employees in the organization.
I love that you're bringing up. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was about to say, Cassandra, that to summarize that, I was trying to ask myself, how can I convey the key benefit of that technology? How can I share with audience, the value of it? And what I came to realize is that HoloLens technology is kind of, bringing the training, the training, classic training that we are used to in a classroom to a complete different level. It brings that to another dimension. It's adding, in fact, a kind of a third dimension to the training. And that dimension is the guided immersion of employees in their work environment. This is where the real value is the employee is kind of brought in that third dimension and feeling the overall environment he has to evolve in.
Yeah, I think from both sides of it, it's, those the new talent that you're bringing into the organization, not only are they familiar with the technology, but it also will become an expectation of them, right? Of their employer, of you. And then I'm really glad that you hit on the pride component of some of your employees who've been there for a long time, who are going through this change, because we often do see that where, at first when you get into this, you might think that some of your existing employees are going to have a really hard time, a little wary of the technology, but we actually see quite the opposite. And then to your point, it goes even further in the pride that they feel being part of this transformative organization as well.
Yeah.
And thank you for your perspective. I actually want to show a video that we have about how Dynamics 365 and HoloLens are working together at Kruger today. So let's go ahead and take a look.
With a machine as complex as Kruger's, life is never linear. The new branching feature allows us to go different pathways within the same procedure, and that's a game changer.
In branching, we're gonna have the tool to solve potential problems before they happen.
With the new spatial trigger feature, it's way more fluid. It feels like the HoloLens is reading your mind. The HoloLens sees your hand, so when you move your hand, it will lead them to the next step. It is obvious to combine branching and spatial trigger. That would lead them to the right place in this procedure.
I love that video so much. I think we're going to have the opportunity to share with our audience too a little bit of the broader story in the follow-up emails as well. But a key piece to the success that we've been discussing and watching here is from the support of our Microsoft partner AGC. Marcel, what's important from your perspective for manufacturers to understand when considering these technologies?
I think that the most important thing is to be ready to, like Gino shared, provoke a game changer. We are turning the training from basic training, normal, regular training, to the game learning. Game learning is the new world we'll hear more and more. So people must have fun to be trained on site. So for Kruger, the approach that we have decided to take is let's walk and then run. So walk is let's try to do basic stuff like remote assist and basic guides, interaction, and then go further with 3D models include into the guide procedure. But I think first you have to make sure that with the IT services that this is very compliant to their needs. Have a good talk with them to make sure the safety is a big concern right now. So you have to be very, very, very serious in that matter. Health and safety is another topic that you have to take care of. We had the new device into sometimes hostile environment, very noisy, very hostile environment. So you have to make sure that the health and safety department will have an eyes on that, will agree with the device on site. That said, then of course you need the network, you need Wi-Fi and LTE, depending how you operate. And then after that, you have to build a team. You must build a team that we own we are there to help, not to do the job. So we train the trainer, the super user, power user, and we make sure that those power users from IT, from health and safety, from production maintenance services, they will be designated as a responsible, as owner of the project. And then we train them. We have built our own internal program to make sure that the people can have fun to use it and understand very well the pros and cons of this new technology. If you follow that path and you let the people be encouraged to work with the device and the software, then it will be for sure a success. If you try to go too fast, then it can be a disaster. And if you don't take care of this very specific, we are very in the details when we implement you know that. So we take care of, like I share with you, IT, safety, owner of every department, and make sure they understand what they have to do. And then it's a pleasure for them, because they, like Gino share, you can't find on the market any kind of a training, a basic training, but what we are building is very specific training. For example, at Kruger, they are using old machine, new machine, they do engineering change, and we can reproduce that with 3D models, and it's so easier for the understanding of the people. And some older workers there since 25 years share with us that they were doing maybe the wrong way the job. And when they have seen the 3D model and the guides,
No. You're pushing too hard. You're pushing too hard.
and the funny thing, like Gino says, the young people and the old people work together, right? Younger and older, and we see building spirit, the team spirit building between them. And that's very, very funny. It's very powerful, and we can, and Gino can share that as well. The result, the KPIs are there. We do better quality, better tonnage. We're in the summer season, we have students coming, we have less accident, we have more productivities. In fact, at the end of the story, the client asks me, what is the ROI? It's funny technology, but how much money we'll save with that, right? So
absolutely.
And we are there. It was not very easy, but we are there. We are there. Technology is new. And I tell my client, you start with remote assist, and after 5 remote assists, you say, can we build guides? So we'll save time, because I'm always asked for same thing. So there is a value of guides. And of course, IoT is another environment we are working. We need to populate all the information regarding the machine on time through HoloLens. That's something that Gino and the people in the organization think that's the way we should follow, right? So, and I'm involved in medicine as well. As you know, medicine is different content, but they push very hard on remote assistant guide, and they love that very much. So the technology is very powerful. And as you know, there is a competition around, but Microsoft is so in advance. So yeah, we are in good business, I think.
Yeah, I don't know that our audience expected to hear so much about creating joy for employees on the factory floor, but I think that's kind of what we're talking about, right? Is, how
Absolutely.
do we create team spirit? How do we spark joy? How do we spark employee engagement? And so as much as this is about a technology transformation, to your point, Marcel, this is a people transformation as well, right? And I think we're seeing that show up in different pockets throughout the conversation. And it's clear that, we need to ensure we're working with partners like AGC to make sure that we do see those benefits realized all the way through, from the conception of the technology, or Gino started this whole path talking about data. And then how do we make that real all the way down to those who are actually on the floor, that we've talked already about so much today. And I know we could go on and on with a lot of different examples, but I have to bring us home a little bit. And so, Michael, I want to check if there's any additional thoughts you have on how organizations can really approach the technology transformation itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's really about the people, helping these workers collaborate, helping them build valuable new skills. that really lets them leverage their experience to the maximum effect. Workforce transformation and productivity is a top challenge for Canadian manufacturers, and these types of solutions and partners like AGC address it head on. And this type of technology really does improve inclusiveness and attracts new types of talent into the industry. So, as Gino said, our next generation are digital natives, and the solutions from experts like Marcel and AGC shows how cool advanced manufacturing technology can be. And enthusiasm and passion for manufacturing is really a powerful economic force.
Like I said earlier, I can't believe how centric people ended up being in this conversation. It's so critical. Marcel, any closing thoughts from you on how, as you're approaching exploring the technology transformation, how you might want to think about it?
Closing statement, I would say there is something that you cannot avoid. You have to go ahead with this technology. The people or the company who will not go do the move will do a mistake. This is clear in my mind. So that's a turning point.
Very direct, Marcel. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Gino, I will give you the final word. What's next for Kruger when it comes to leveraging these technologies?
Oh, very interesting question, Cassandra. The next step for us, just maybe set the context. We did a pilot project first with that technology. Mm-hmm. Our strategy was to create, kind of interest from other side, go and see what has been achieved there. This created the enthusiasm that we were looking for. Now our strategy is to deploy that in the overall operation side of our division. And we are developing a champion that will foster efficient implementation also to learn from the experience we went through. And as mentioned also, we will pursue our innovation with Auger Groupe Conseil, that engineering firm that help us to enhance the technology by adapting it to more complex tasks. At the end of the day, it's a really powerful technology, and we want to take the advantage of leveraging it and bring that in the complex tasks that we have to execute in operation. And of course, finally, the vision we have is to make it accessible to every employees in the organization that are manufacturing the goods that we have to manufacture. And keep that in mind, that technology allows people to have with them 24 hours, 7 days a week, the best cutting edge training that they can hope to have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Then that's our vision, to make that available to them in the entire organization.
That's great. Love that vision. Love how you guys are also thinking about change management, right? Let's take a pilot. Let's show some momentum. Let's create some champions, and then let this wave ride out as you kind of take it to everyone 24/7 to all of your employees. I love that so much. Thank you all for joining me today. I think we've had a great discussion highlighting, the real value of the technologies, but also the real impact on the organizations that Dynamics 365, mixed reality, and HoloLens can have when they come together. So thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you to our audience as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.